You are now watching Sammy D305. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Sammy D305, aka Handsome Hands. This is my review of Doctor Strange. And yes, this review will have spoilers, so if you have not seen the movie, you might want to just skip to the end of this video while I get my final verdict, because I am going to skim through the movie real fast. It's not going to be a long review, but it's going to skim through the main points, and I am going to be spoiling the movie, so that's your second warning, and here we go. Okay, the movie starts off, of course, with the Ancient One defending the Earth realms, trying to chase after one of her old disciples who split off from her teaching, played by Mads Mikkelsen. And from that point on, you switch to Doctor Strange, played by Benjamin Cumberbatch. And of course, they go through the whole him being like a great surgeon, being arrogant, and then later on, while he's driving, he gets into a car accident and injures himself, of course, and he does damage to his hands, which pretty much ends his career. But while he's in therapy, he gets some information from one of the physical therapists who told him about a guy who actually who actually ended up healing himself from a spinal injury that could not be medically corrected. So, of course, after Doctor Strange is going through all these medical procedures and spent who knows how much money trying to get his hands repaired, he tracks down this character that is played by Benjamin Pratt, and he goes to go talk to him, and then the character eventually tells him that he went to uh, the Far East to try to go find some type of spiritual healing after trying to do all these medical healings that never worked. So, long story short, Doctor Strange goes to where the Ancient One teaches at, goes in, tries to get accepted, goes through the whole I don't believe in mystics and magics, and then she proves him wrong. Then he becomes one of the students there. Over time, of course, he starts gaining abilities because he studies harder than most people. He picks up on stuff because he has a photographic memory, as he says in the movie. And from that point on, he goes, finds out about what Mads Mikkelsen's character did when he took one of the pages from some of the forbidding teachings in the books. He uses the Eye of Agamotto to put the page back in, and he finds out that what the spell that he was trying to do was to summon something from another dimension to take over the world. Well, take over the universe, basically. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. I'm going to skip around, so when you actually do see the movie, you can be surprised a little bit. I'm not going to go into detail on that character. But long and the short of it, Matt Mikkelsen's character attacks all of the three temples that they have. It's one in Hong Kong, one in London, one in New York, and then one at I think at the original sanctuary. And by attacking those, they weaken the dimensional walls so the being from the other dimension can come in and take over the world or the universe. So what ends up happening is, of course, Doctor Strange finds himself in a predicament where he has to fight when he tries to tell them the whole time that the reason he came there was to get healed. But of course, you can't be selfish. If you have a destiny beyond that and you have to save the world, you just have to save the world. So from that point on, of course, they battle with the main protagonist. They get towards the end where he's attacking Hong Kong, and they find out that that's the last place. If that falls, then they lose everything. By the time Doctor Strange and Mordo actually get there, they find out that they've lost already. So Strange uses the Eye of Agamotto, and this is a big spoiler. The Eye of Agamotto is actually one of the Infinity Stones. It's the Infinity Stone of Time. So of course he uses it to rewind time. So when they start putting back the damage that was done in Hong Kong, they get to a point where they realize that they can't go back far enough to stop it because Matt Mikkelsen's character ends up still combating with them and fighting. So what Doctor Strange does is he flies off and goes into the dimensional rip and goes and talks to the being that's trying to take over the Earth, and he ends up using the Infinity Stone inside of the Eye Agamotto to create an infinite loop. So every time he tries to go bargain with the being from another dimension, he ends up rewinding time over and over, and he creates a loop, a paradox, an infinite loop, and he just basically ends up annoying the hell out of the being to the point where he makes a deal with him, where he makes it so he'll stop trying to take over the Earth realm and come through the dimension, and he'll take his zealots with him, his little minions, which is Mads Mikkelsen's character, and his little followers. That ends up working. So towards the end, after that, he does that. Then Mordo pretty much gets kind of mad at Doctor Strange. He has a legitimate reason for getting mad at him, but I'm not gonna go into detail on that. See the movie and find out. So he decides that he's not gonna follow the way that Doctor Strange has been following to try to help and change things. Because Mordo realizes that in his own teachings and his own mind, that there's always a price to be paid. Like he said in the movie, the bill will be due. So he goes off to find his own way, I guess, to prepare for whatever's going to come after they did this. So when it gets towards the end of the movie, you see Strange and Wong going back to the temple, and Wong tells them that once more people have figured out what has happened throughout the dimensions and other worlds, that more threats will start coming towards them. So the movie ends there, and then it skips to the extra credit scene, and the extra credit scene is Strange talking to Thor. And at this point, Strange literally has the Doctor Strange gloves on and everything, like literally looking just like he does in the comic book. And he's talking to Thor, and Thor needs his help to actually find Odin. So I guess this might tie into Thor Ragnarok when it comes out. So we'll see what happens with that. But as far as the movie on a whole, I say see it. It was actually a very good movie. I liked it. The ending, because they actually did something different. Instead of you going against something that you know you can't beat, find a loophole to defeat something that's more powerful than you. I like that. Now, as far as all of the Marvel movies go, as far as like visual combat style, this is going to be a movie to beat as far as the combat style and the visuals and the effects. You see that in the commercial, but when you see some of the things that go on in the movie itself during the fight scenes, it was amazing. Like that, I give that a 10 out of 10. The way they set up some of the fights in the movie, it was amazing. But as far as like something I could think that was pretty similar to this, because it's not anything that's really similar to this, but like story tone wise, as the beginning, as the lost soul trying to find himself, or the main character trying to find himself, it kind of reminded me of Batman Begins, when you see Bruce Wayne first go train in the Far East, and he goes through the mountain and goes through all the stuff. That reminded me of that. The movie reminded me of that. And while I was watching, I was like, damn, that has that Batman Begins vibe in it. But that's the only thing movie-wise I could think that was similar in tone as far as that part of the movie itself. But otherwise than that, I suggest you actually go see this movie. It was really good. It paid off. I was entertained. The acting was good from all the characters. And that's about it. So there you have it. So if you have any plans or think about maybe even going to see Doctor Strange, go see it. I give the movie a 10 out of 10. Give it a thumbs up. It's your basic superhero story, just with a little bit of twist by introducing more of the mystic and the magic stuff into it, which made it actually stand out more. So that's about it for my review. And as always, until next time.